Hi everybody, Dr. Fixmaster here. First thing we're going to fix, this is a Serpentine belt from a 1998 Jeep Cherokee 4-liter. Just a couple days ago I got a call from the mechanic who was working on something, trying to fix my clutch, which is beyond my ability and I don't have the tools for. So in the process of that, I was offered to have my belt replaced because there were cracks in the other one, and the mechanic wanted $115 to do that. Please don't have a mechanic replace a belt for $115. I bought this at AutoZone for let's see, I think it was $31 for this Daco 3-year warranty belt. So let's get this on the Jeep and I'll show you how to do it. It's quite simple. Alright, here's what we're looking at. To do this job you need a 15mm socket and a 15mm wrench. Basically the only bolts that we're going to access is that guy right there. This is a bolt that's attached to a screw that lengthens and shortens where the tensioner pulley is. So that's the adjustment that will tighten the belt and loosen the belt. So you loosen it, take the belt off, put the new one on exactly the way you see it in here, tighten it back up again there. Before you can tighten and loosen the belt though, you got to get to that one down in there, way down in there. And what that is all about is that's just a pulley that you have to release the bolt on it. This one here. You have to release that and loosen it up so that you can make the adjustment with this. After that's loosened, you can make the proper adjustment, get it to where it needs to be, then you go back over here and tighten it up to be all finished. So you just put the new belt on the same way that the that the old one was on, and it'll be interesting for me to inspect this belt once I get it off to see if the mechanic was yanking my chain and telling me I needed a belt when I actually didn't. But it's been a while, so I decided to get it anyway. Couldn't hurt. But you can see the components that this belt winds around. This is the power steering pump. That's the tensioner pulley in there that I just had messing with the bolt on. This one is that's the water pump. Way down below is the crankshaft pulley that drives this whole setup. And this one is the air conditioner. And then down, wrapping around there is where's the light? That's the alternator, way down there, generating power and charging your battery. So, alright, I'm going to take this thing off now, and we'll inspect this. Alright, I've loosened the bolt on the tensioner pulley down there so that I can make the adjustment here, and it's loose enough now that I can just screw on it here. And as I do that, you see this belt is getting rather loose, and pretty soon it'll just come right off. When you install a belt, it needs to be the right tension. You don't want to have it too loose, because if it's too loose it'll squeal when you start it up. If it's too tight, what happens is, I think one of the first things that will happen is it produces premature wear on things like water pumps. When there's a lot of tension on that pulley, it just wears out the bearings and stuff in there faster than normal, and pretty soon it'll start leaking. And you'll see that that's a new water pump. I put that on probably 6 months ago. This belt is now coming off. Just going to put it over there. And looking at the condition of the thing, I'm not really seeing a bunch of cracks or anything in this belt. The mechanic said that there were cracks in it, and that it needed to be replaced. But this belt looks pretty good to me, and what you find is that a lot of mechanics will they'll recommend a $100 job for you to do when it doesn't really need to be done, because that puts money in their pocket and it's an easy job. So That's why it's one of the reasons I do the things like I do myself, because I'm just tired of being ripped off. Okay, well, to the credit of my most recent mechanic, there are some cracks starting to appear in this belt. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but when that starts to happen, yeah, it probably is time to change the belt out. The one thing you don't want to have happen to you on a road trip is to have that go. So I'm going to go ahead and just chuck this. Okay, the new belt is on now. One tip is to don't save the most inaccessible pulley for last. The alternator down there was the hardest one to get to. I made that mistake, and then I couldn't get it on there. So if you slacken it up, like I took it off the air conditioner compressor here, fed it down around the alternator to get it on in there, and then I had more maneuvering room up here, so I was able to finally snap it into place. But let's go ahead and tighten this down now. Kind of go by feel. I like to just push on the belt here to see how much it deflects, and if I push firmly, about a half of an, maybe quarter to a half of an inch of deflection when I push on it with maybe 10 pounds of pressure, just to give me a ballpark figure. But I like to tighten my belts just to the point where it doesn't squeal, because like I said, when you tighten them too much, it produces wear on the components. So there we go. I probably loosened up this tensioner pulley too much because it's kind of wobbling around. It only needs to be loose enough so that you can make the adjustment right here. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back down just a little bit. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. You can see how it's kind of moving around in there. It should just be loose enough to adjust, but not so loose that it's flopping all over the place. This kind of wrench is really nice for this thing where I have to reach in here. Okay, it's in, all tightened up. I started the engine and I heard a little bit of a squeak when I turned on the air conditioner, so I'm going to tighten it up a few more turns and try it again. Everything seems to be working now, so looks like we're good to go. Thanks for watching.